Welcome all. We are going to start our 10th lesson, that is disaster management. Basically, in 6th standard, you have already studied what is actually the disaster. So, disaster is that sudden change or event which can damage the nation's property, life of a person or life of people, and which can create a great havoc. Okay, now this lesson is about disaster management. Means we are going to manage, we are going to plan up, we are going to see how and what to do when such disasters occur. Okay, so this lesson is all about it. You can see over here few newspaper pamphlets or newspaper they have just cut and they have kept together. So various news items about disaster. Now, is it possible to prevent the loss of life caused by lightning? Whenever the lightning occurs, is it possible for us to save our life? The answer will be yes. If you are knowing that it is lightning outside, if it is thundering outside, what precaution we can take? Yes, we are not supposed to go out. We will stay in our house itself. What should be done to prevent the burns on the farm from getting washed away in the rainy season? Whenever the burns are constructed on the river side during rainy season, we should just make it, or you should just see that they will be made up of a concrete, cement, etc. Now, many of the times we are experiencing water scarcity. We have studied two types of disaster. They were mainly man-made and natural. Man-made disasters are the one which are created by man, and natural disasters are the one which are causing naturally. Which categories do disasters shown in the news items fall? Basically, if you see over here, earthquake is a natural disaster. You can see Mahad Bridge collapse. One news is present in that top. Mahad Bridge collapse. Now that Mahad Bridge, the bridge was constructed by human beings, man-made. So this is a man-made disaster. You can see over here Russia se Viman Kosale. It is also a man-made disaster. Tsunami smashes India. It is one of the natural disaster. So these types of disaster or disaster can be classified into two types. One is man-made and another is natural. We can prevent certain disaster while it is necessary to take precautions in the case of some other disaster. Natural and man-made disasters are related to each other. Basically, you can take few preventive measures when the disaster occur. So we are going to study about that particular thing in this lesson. Natural disasters such as famine, lightning strikes, cloudburst, storm, etc. Cloudburst, basically in Marathi we called it as dhagfuti. There is the possibility of damage to the property in such natural calamities. Now these all things like famine, lightning strike, cloudburst, they are depending upon the weather. The weather climate or the weather will tell you actually which disaster is supposed to occur. If it is raining heavily, there will be flood. If there is earthquake in the seabed, there will be tsunami. So this totally everything is dependent upon the weather. So who is held to be responsible for that? Are you going to hold the nature, or are you going to hold a person responsible for it? No. So what can we do to deal with these losses? What can we do to prevent these all losses? So that only we are going to study in this lesson. The first one is famine. In 5th standard, 6th standard, you have went through this word famine. The condition that arises due to which long term or and severe scarcity of food grain and water is present in one particular place is called as famine. So scarcity means what? Shortage. When there is shortage of food grains and water in one place, you can say that that region is suffering from famine. Famines can be very severe. They can be very severe means they can be very extreme. The whole village need to be shifted afterwards. There will be loss of life, loss of animal life, etc. There will be loss of the biodiversity itself. Although the main cause of famine is the natural phenomena, famine is not been caused because of man, but it is a natural phenomena. It is occurring naturally. Yet a famine is created by some human activities also. But some human beings, they are doing some of the activities, and because of that famine can occur. Now think about it. What would happen if no food were grown during one whole year? If you are not growing food grains for one particular year, what will happen? Obviously we are going to face a shortage of food grains later. Now the next part is the causes of famine. How the famine is caused? Drought, heavy rains, floods, crops getting washed or damaged in the flood. So they have told you the drought. Drought means what? Loss of, there is shortage of water, heavy rains, extreme rains, flood. Because of flood, crops are getting washed off. Environmental changes such as temperature change, storms, cold waves or fog, damage of crops by animals like mice and rat, attack of pest, locust or diseases of the crop, a natural calamity like earthquake, etc. are some of the causes. They have given you many causes over here. From that we have just studied now up till flood. Environmental changes such as temperature change. Suddenly that the temperature, if it is sunny and sometimes you can feel that the weather is totally changing. So this can also result to this famine. There are the animals such as mice and rat. They are attacking on the field. So natural calamities such as earthquake can also cause this famine. Of this, drought is the main cause. Drought means what? Loss of or shortage of water. Now, when there is no rainfall in a certain particular region, that region will face from drought. And if one region is not having a proper rainfall as well as there is no food production, then it will face from famine. Man-made causes of famine include war, internal unrest, absence of transport routes, uncontrolled population growth. Which are the man-made reasons? There will be war between two areas, two places, internal unrest, there will be no proper internal belonging or there will be no proper communication between two people or two regions. Absence of transport route, if the transport, if you are supposed to supply a particular thing at one particular place, there will be no proper routes, then it will be very late for that, for people who are staying in that area. Uncontrolled population growth. Now population nowadays it is increasing day by day, so because of this uncontrolled population growth also it can lead to famine. So these are the records of the loss of life caused by, there are the records of loss of life of the people caused by severe famines in various parts of the world. So main thing what they have told over here, many of the people have lost their life because of this famine. Asia has turned out to be the worst affected and the most affected continent in the world. So Asia is the continent where famine already struck, and it is the one which is badly affected because of famine. Now, a majority of the famines occur in the drought prone or flood affected region. The areas where there is drought or the areas where there is famine or area where there is flood, that area suffer from a famine. Among the most dreadful famines that have occurred in the world are the famines which are taking place in India and China. India and China are those countries where famine is causing or it is taking place again and again in particular year itself. Are we responsible for famine? Just think about it. Are we responsible for famine? Some or the other amount you can say yes. First thing what you are doing, just see water shortage is increasing as balance between the rainfall and population is disturbed. Rainfall is not proper, but population is increasing, demand of water is also increasing, and there is a water shortage. These, though there has been a very high rise in the production of food grains as a result of green revolution, the balance of the environment and has been lost due to the chemical fertilizers, pesticides and weedicides. What they have told you, because of green revolution, we are knowing Dr. M.S. Swaminathan was the father of green revolution. He was the one to bring about this change. I have told you one day also, I have told you while teaching, if 1 year also there will be no food production, the next year we can eat sufficiently. But you should strive hard for production of food grain, because 1 year you can remove but not 2 years or 3 years. Okay, because of this green revolution there is food production, the level of that is increased, but you can clearly see over here that the population is growing day by day and the balance, fertilizers, insecticides are being used in that much amount itself, and that is why the quality is been reducing. Unlimited lifting of water, you, because of this borewells the water is being lifted continuously, so there is no groundwater properly. Erosion of land, there is soil erosion, misuse of water, people are not using the water properly, and these are the reasons that we are also responsible for this famine. Now you can clearly see over here, in the past, famines are not a new phenomena. Famines are not a new phenomenon. It is not a new concept. The problems of drinking water, food and fodder for animals date back to the historic time. This was a reason, this was a cause, or this was going on from the past time also. Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj and Chhatrapati Shahu Maharaj implemented many schemes for overcoming this famine. Father and son both planned something, and they were trying to strive something good for the people. Okay, their water supply and water storage scheme are ideal even in today's circumstances. The system which they followed of water supply and water storage was ideal. They were just trying to store water wherever possible. Still, it has been remembered by all. You too can make some schemes like these to face future crisis and disaster. If you want to not face this all disaster or crisis, you can also start implementing some of the schemes which will be useful in one own life in the future, but also for the society later. Malik Ambar implemented. Now you will be knowing who is Malik Ambar. Malik Ambar implemented a canal scheme for drinking water in Aurangabad. It exists even today. So Malik Ambar was the one. He have implemented a canal scheme in Aurangabad. It is still going on. It is still working still today. Okay, what can we do to ease the severity of famine? How are we going to reduce this level, or how are we going to reduce this occurrence of famine? What you are supposed to do, you are supposed to plan the usage of water and reuse of water. See that you will use the water properly and reuse it if necessary. Proper planning of water conservation and harvesting at the local level. See that you will plan about the water conservation properly. Large scale plantation of the trees and prevention of deforestation. You are going to plant trees wherever possible, and see for that you are going to prevent from this deforestation. Making appropriate changes in the plans taking into account the weather forecast. You are going to see that proper plans are being made, and you are going to look up forward for the weather forecast which are going to tell you when actually the rain is going to come, which calamities are going to occur. Okay, so these are the things which you can use. They have given over here one slogan: large scale tree plantation, no famine, no land erosion. If you are going to plant trees on a large scale, there will be no famine and there will be no land erosion. So the next part is cloud burst. I'll just explain this part. Cloud burst means what in Marathi we called as dhag futi, extreme rain, and because of that the water level rises tremendously. Sometimes the water coming from the rain clouds does not reach the land in the form of rain. When the water is coming down from the clouds, it does not come to the ground itself. Because of the extreme heat, it immediately get converted into vapors and go upwards. So that raindrops which are coming downwards vaporizes and again go back to the same cloud. As a result, the amount of the vapor in those clouds become very high, and the amount of the vapors or amount of that particular drops in the clouds become high due to the rapid condensation. Condensation means cooling down of the water vapor. Because of the rapid condensation, it rains suddenly over a specific and small region at the rate of 100 millimeter per hour or more. It is raining somewhere about 100 millimeter per hour and more than that. And when such thing occur, or when such specific occurrence is taking place, you can say it is a cloud burst. The cloud burst occurred at Leh, Ladakh on 6th August 2010. The cloud burst that occurred in Mumbai 26th, it is of 26th July. By mistake, they have printed the 26th August. Was extraordinary and unforgettable. People from Mumbai, they are not going to forget this day anytime. On this day, it rained about 950 millimeters. It was raining somewhere about 950 millimeters. That is 37 inches in 8 to 10 hours. The entire Mumbai was underwater and it was flooded. So this is actually the main disaster, and you can get more information about it on internet too. So the next part of this lesson I am going to explain in the next video. Thank you.